Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to a format that I haven't done in quite some time. In fact, I looked back at my last Twin Flame Channeled Messages from your angels, and the last time I did it, it was in October of 2022. So if you are newer to my channel, then you probably have not yet heard this format. Yeah, sorry about that. It's been such a long time, but I felt it was high time to be able to do this type of audio-video. It's more like a podcast, but there's a reason why I do this as a podcast format rather than you guys seeing my face, which you guys are used to seeing on my YouTube channel. So one of the reasons that I do this in a non-face format is because I do things really differently when I channel messages from my angels and angelic presence, from the Twin Flame Angels, the Romance Angels. I write down the channeled messages, and I write these down a day or two before I do the recording, and I reflect, and I meditate, and I listen to the messages. And so I am going to be reading from this message. And the format that I do it in, if you've never heard this format before, is I say, "Dear angels," and I state my question, and the response from the angels comes after that. Now, sometimes in angelic speak, it can sound very choppy, and it can also sound very ethereal, meaning I usually spend some time after the channeling to decode what the angels have said, the messages that they've portrayed. Now, the reason why I made the decision to go ahead and do this channeling is because of your feedback. And when I say your feedback, I'm speaking to the Twin Flame Collective. I'm speaking to the viewers on YouTube. And I'm speaking to the Twin Flames that I speak to in my one-on-one reading sessions. So I have felt from the Twin Flame Collective this extreme level of frustration, this extreme level of feeling like you're not a part of the Twin Flame journey anymore, that you're not a part of the Twin Flame Collective anymore, that nothing is moving, changing, growing, and you feel so weary and disconnected, ready to walk away, ready to no longer be a part of the journey. Or maybe you haven't felt like the Twin Flame journey is a part of your journey for quite some time now. Maybe it's been a year, 2 years, 3 years, or more. And so based on all of the above, I felt it was high time to check in with the angels in a channeled message for the entire Twin Flame Collective that I read for. Now, of course, the Twin Flame Collective is very large in a way that there are people at different stages on this Twin Flame journey. And I don't pretend that every single one of them listens to me. In fact, I know for a fact that not everybody listens to me, and that there is a very small, teeny, tiny, minuscule percentage of the entire Twin Flame Collective that listens to the messages that I portray on YouTube. And that is the only format, I guess. There's no other format that I do messages on these days. It's only YouTube. So, with no further ado, I'm going to read the channeled message from the Twin Flame Angels to the Twin Flame Collective. Dear angels, many Twin Flames are tired of this Twin Flame journey. Notably, many Twin Flames do not see any 3D reunion in sight. Their Twin Flame has not contacted or are in a relationship with someone else. What do you need to say to Twin Flames who feel that their journey as a Twin Flame is over? Stay strong and do not abandon. There are things you do not see. The pathway is not straightforward, nor has it ever been. You cannot know how hard we are working behind the scenes for you. There are forces of which you are not aware. Dear angels, what does do not abandon the twin flame journey mean exactly? Many have a desire to be in a romantic relationship, but their twin flame isn't around. Can they still stay on the twin flame journey path and be in a romantic relationship with someone else? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is this takes time. All of this takes time. People are complex. Do not abandon means do not go back to your old ways. The old ways are done and over with. The old ways will take you in the wrong direction. Dear angels, so if I understand you correctly, you're saying to not abandon the spiritual path? That is correct. Dear angels, will the Twin Flame Collective come into 3D romantic union in a more permanent state in this lifetime? In other words, will twin flames come together as couples and live in harmony in a romantic, committed relationship together in this lifetime? One would only hope, dear one. Things are still shifting. Dear angels, that doesn't give a lot of promise to twin flames who are expecting a 3D physical reunion that is more permanent than an on-again, off-again type of relationship. Can you help me to understand, please? The Divine Masculine Collective has been working hard but slowly. Divine Masculines need a push but don't like to be pushed. For them, everything feels more difficult than it needs to be. Dear angels, will there be a tipping point? Meaning, will there be a point at which the Divine Masculine Collective gains enough momentum to move forward at a more rapid pace? If they stop digging in their heels, yes. Dear angels, do you foresee that coming soon? Some divine masculines are more ready to let go of the past than others. And will those divine masculines who are ready to let go of the past help forge the way for those who are behind? Yes, everything helps, dear one. Dear angels, what do you have to say to the twin flames who feel so detached from their twin flame journey because it's been so long? Your story is not over. It's barely beginning. If you could see what we see, you wouldn't panic. Dear angels, but why does it feel over to so many twin flames? Because they have tried to take charge of their twin flame journey instead of trusting in the spiritual aspects. In other words, instead of trusting in God. Dear angels, do you mean by improperly using the ego? Twin flames have taken the reins and have tried to edge God out. E.G.O, E.G.O. Exactly. The more a twin flame tries to manipulate or control his or her journey, the further he or she moves away from spirit or source energy. Humans have a tendency to do this. They believe that they take the place of God. Then there is a lot of resistance in listening to us and following our guidance. They think they've got it all figured out. Dear angels, that makes a lot of sense. I can see how that would make a twin flame feel lost or isolated. Humans are good at many things, but the intention of the relationship with Creative Source is not to be separate, but to work through things together. Dear angels, thank you. I can see that. The world today causes separateness. This makes us sad. Individuality is good, but it's not everything. The need to individuate today is causing a storm. The sea is much calmer when the ocean waters work together. Dear angels, I see exactly what you mean. I see you showed me peaks of individuals like spikes popping out of the water on the ocean surface, and this causes the surface to be turbulent rather than smooth. Exactly. Dear angels, how do twin flames get out of this ego bubble? First of all, relax. We've got this covered. Second, go back to doing what you love. Love begets more love. Next, be loving and kind. Why must you be angry with your divine counterpart? They are as much a child of God as you are. Would your Creator be angry with them for moving slowly through their lessons? We should think not. Finally, we urge you not to give up so easily in life's trials. You have the tools you need to move through this life. You have forgotten this, but we're here to remind you. Thank you, angels. That is all really good advice. Do you have any final messages for the Twin Flame Collective? You've got the power within you to stay the course. Your spiritual work is important here. Thank you, angels. So I felt that this was an extremely powerful and condensed message with so many nuggets of information, truth, and higher level thinking that came through in this very short, rather short. I didn't know how long it was going to take me to read it, but rather short channeling from the angels. And the overall arching message that I believe is, no, this twin flame journey is not done. This is something that is extremely complex. It's something that takes time. It's something that cannot be rushed. And that when we fail to trust in God, Source, Spirit, our higher spiritual selves, and Spirit with a capital S, when we fail to trust in Spirit and think that we are the center of this journey, that we can do it all, that we just have to take the bull by the horns and forge forward with abandon, we are not working in union with God. And one of the things that we're learning is to not use our ego, E.G.O, to edge God out. That's not mine. That's something that I actually learned through one of my favorite teachers, Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, in the past. But when we're using our egos to say, God, it's okay. I've got this. I've got this all figured out. I've got this twin flame journey figured out. I don't really need you. And so when we get frustrated, upset, when we feel isolated and alone, and we feel like we need to abandon this journey, we need to leave the journey, we need to throw in the towel and say, I'm done with this. It's because we have taken the reins with our ego selves as if we were the originator of this entire journey. And we're not the originator of this journey. We may have agreed to be a participant in the twin flame journey, but we most certainly are not the originator of the twin flame journey. And so when we say, that's it, I'm done, or we blame the Divine Masculine Collective and go, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Why aren't you doing what you need to be doing? And why aren't you doing it in my timeline? Why? Then we're really playing the role of God. We're playing the role of the originator of this journey, and then we try to call all the shots, and when it doesn't work out according to what we called out, the plays that we called out, we get angry, we get frustrated, we get upset. Here's one other thing about using ego on this twin flame journey to try to be the orchestrator, the originator of the entire twin flame journey for two people, right? For you and your divine masculine, or even for you and the entire collective, even though mindfully you might not be doing this, but if you're trying to orchestrate and say, nope, I'm taking the lead here, then you kind of are doing it for the collective too, because the collective, even though it's comprised of individuals, it's also got a trajectory. It's also because, okay, let me just go back to that big awakening, the grand awakening, the great awakening that happened in 2017 and 2018, where I would say, I don't know, 100,000 to 500,000 twin flames awakened. I don't know. I'm just basing it on like YouTube views at the time and YouTube channels that popped up and how many viewers were viewing these videos on average. So anywhere between, 100,000 and maybe 500,000. But in the grand awakening, the great awakening of 2017 and 2018, when everybody was in the dark prior to that great awakening, everybody who was in that piece of the collective, right? So before that great awakening, if you were one of the ones to awaken in that time span, 2017, 2018, before that, most of us did not know about the twin flame journey. So since most of us did not know about the twin flame journey prior to that great awakening in 2017, 2018, then that would stand to reason that we are not the originators of the twin flame journey. And so it's almost as if you had your awakening, you realized you're a twin flame, you go through the stages of the twin flame journey, and then you go, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to take this over. And just like you didn't choose the when of your awakening as a twin flame, you don't really get to choose when you come into 3D permanent reunion with your twin. You just don't get to choose that. It just is going to happen according to divine timing. And so there are many twin flames that I've coached in the more recent weeks and perhaps months, probably the last 3 months, I would say, who have taken it upon themselves to take the reins. So let me just give you an example of what that means, to take the reins and use their ego to manipulate or control. And when I say manipulate, I don't say that in a mean way, because I don't feel the intentions are mean at all. I feel like it's just they're tired. They're just tired, and they're like, well, let me take control of this a little bit, because I'm just tired of not being in reunion with my twin. I'm going to try to just, do some things to make this work. So I've been coaching some twin flames who have taken the reins on their own accord and taken the lead and taken control. And so they've reached out to their twin flames. They've scheduled dates with their twin flames. They've scheduled some booty calls with their twin flames. They have taken the reins as a divine feminine in the collective, whether they're masculine or feminine in gender, like female or male in gender, but they've taken the reins, but as a divine feminine counterpart to the divine masculine counterpart, if that makes sense. They've taken the reins because they're just tired of sitting back, relaxing, and waiting. And so they have, called, texted, arranged dates, arranged sleepovers, whatever the case may be. And in some cases, the divine masculine has been responsive to the divine feminines taking the reins, taking the lead, taking control, and doing this. So they've responded for the most part. They may have even gone out on a date with these divine feminines who have taken the reins and maybe slept with them, whatever. But soon thereafter, what these divine feminines are seeing, the ones who have tried to use their ego-based consciousness to say, I'm done waiting, I'm going to take control, they've seen that the divine masculines, even though they were responsive, after some time, meaning a day, a week, or a month, they've noticed that the divine masculine has retreated back into a twin flame separation. And then the divine feminines in this scenario have been like, what? What actually happened? Why didn't this work? Why aren't they responsive? Why are they not following? And it's because it really wasn't up to the divine feminine in this case right now, where we are on this twin flame journey in this collective. It's not up to the divine feminine to take the reins, take the lead, take the bull by the horns, and do a bunch of stuff to try to get you and divine masculine back together. It's just, that's not what we're learning here. What we're learning is to move back into our divine feminine yin energy and to give the reins over to God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call universal spirit, whatever you want to say. And so we are edging God out by taking the reins, taking control, trying to control the divine masculine because we're not getting what we want or need right now. And so if you have done this, if you're a twin flame that I've not talked to one-on-one, if you're a twin flame I've not talked to one-on-one and you've done this in the most recent months, and you've noticed that it may have worked for a week or two, but then it goes back to not working, that's the reason. The angels explain to you the reason in this channeling. They explain to you that that is the actual reason. The actual reason is what they said about the ego. They said, the more a twin flame tries to manipulate or control his or her journey, the further he or she moves away from spirit or source energy. Humans have a tendency to do this. They believe that they take the place of God. Then there's a lot of resistance in listening to us and following our guidance. They think they've got it all figured out. Right? So when you edge God out, E.G.O, ego, and you take the reins, you think you know it all, you think you got it all figured out, you're missing the relationship with your creator. And the relationship with your creator is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. And the same goes for the relationship with your divine masculine twin flame, or if you're divine masculine, with your divine feminine twin flame. It's a two-way symbiotic relationship that is based on being ready as an energetic match in the 3D to have some sort of stable 3D physical reunion that withstands a test of time. That's not just these like momentary entry into union, which many of you have already seen. And so if you're a divine feminine who has been suffering through this in recent months or years, where you just feel like, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm done. I don't even feel like I'm part of the twin flame journey. This doesn't make any sense to me. Then just give it over to God. Give it over to God and be like, I can't handle this, but I know you can handle this. And I know you've got a plan. And I know that this whole thing has a meaning and a purpose. And I'm just not going to worry about it. Because the worry comes from the ego need to have a plan, right? It comes from the ego's need to have a plan. I need to have a plan. I need to see a map. I need to see the destination. And the ego wants that destination for security, for certainty. And sometimes, especially on a spiritual path, you just don't get that. Your lessons are much wider, much bigger, a lot more expansive than the map. The map, that's so confined, right? Why would you confine yourself to a map when you could have the entire universe? And when you look at it as that, when you look at it as so much more expensive than what you've put yourself into, then you get to start and look at the beauty of the earth in all of its marvel and wonder, the beauty of creation, and where you sit in it. And when you begin to relax, sit back, relax, and enjoy this journey rather than needing to micromanage or control it, and you ask your angels for help, and you ask God for help, and you say to Creative Source, I surrender this to you. I give this over to you. I cannot do this on my own. I don't pretend that I can do it on my own. I understand that you're the orchestrator. And so I'm going to give it to you. And I'm going to release this. Release this stronghold I've had for so long on my twin flame journey. And just understand that everything is unfolding the way it should. Everything is unfolding in divine timing. I don't have to abandon this just to experience something different. I can still hold on to my twin flame journey and still experience the rest of life. It's not mutually exclusive. It's not like you have to choose between the twin flame journey and the rest of life. And that includes other romantic relationships. And the angels specifically stated that. That doesn't mean you have to exclude yourself from having a romantic partnership with somebody else if your twin flame isn't around, isn't ready, hasn't seen the light yet, right? So just trust that this takes time, and trust that it already has a plan. It already has an ending. It already has an outcome. And you're not necessarily meant to know the when or the how or the how much or whatever. And so if you can relinquish that, then you are working on relinquishing the stronghold that the ego has on you. And I talk in so many videos about the ego. I talk about it in my books. We talk about this in the Twin Flame Bootcamp. So if you are interested and you're having difficulty with this, I would say take my Twin Flame online courses, which are the 2 Twin Flame Bootcamps. So helpful to helping you transcend the stronghold that your ego has had on you since you came here. So I hope this was helpful, Twin Flame. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to the channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thank you so much for giving this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends who are Twin Flames. And thanks so much for your support of my channel. I have 10 published books. I've got a meditation course online, of course, the Twin Flame Bootcamps, and we do group coaching, which is where we meet one-on-one with me, a small group, right? A small group meets with me twice a month. And I will see you guys in the next video.